smart enough to win. That's how the story starts. Learning is the edge that sets your work apart. When the stakes get high and the pressure never stops, smart learning in your pocket puts your business at the top.
Welcome to the Learning Advantage, from Insight to Impact, where we're going to show how smart learning fuels real business results. I'm Deb Laurel, and I'm your host. So welcome to this session today of the Learning Advantage, from Insight to Impact. For over 40 years, Laurel and Associates Limited has worked alongside national and international managers to help them successfully manage employees and create and maintain a positive, healthy, and supportive work environment where employees want to stay and do their best. We focus on making lackluster leaders legendary. The purpose of the Learning Advantage, from Insight to Impact, is to discuss how smart learning fuels real business results. In each episode, we strive to deliver actionable strategies, evidence-based design tips, and real-world case studies that show how learning strengthens organizational health, advances sustainability, and drives profitability. And for that reason, I'm delighted to introduce our guests for today, Sam Kariuk. I'm not saying your name correctly, am I, Sam?
That's my name. That's my name. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sam is an accomplished sales trainer and performance coach with more than 17 years of proven experience in transforming sales teams and driving measurable revenue growth across East Africa. As the founder of Growth Partners, Sam has trained thousands of sales professionals and business owners, delivering exceptional results, including up to 300% sales increases, improved quota attainment, and significantly reduced team turnover. Sam's expertise spans comprehensive training needs assessment, curriculum development, change management, and strategic performance consulting across diverse business-to-business and business-to-consumer environments. His client portfolio includes leading organizations from financial services, telecommunications, manufacturing, logistics, hospitality, among several others. An accomplished author and published thought leader, Sam has contributed articles to Business Daily, Selling Power East Africa, and Marketing Africa. He holds professional credentials, including Lumina Learning Practitioner Certificate and USAID Business for Health Trainer Accreditation, alongside a Bachelor of Commerce in Marketing and CPA Part 2 qualification. Welcome, Sam, and please tell everyone where you're calling in from.
Thank you, Deborah. That was quite a good introduction. I'm here in Nairobi, Kenya. Very wet Nairobi this day, but yeah, that's quite a distance between me and you where you are. But it's exciting to be here this day.
I'm delighted that you are. So I'm going to go right into the questions.
Sure.
When you think about learning as a competitive advantage, what does that mean in the context of your organization or your work?
Yeah, as you have indicated in the introduction, I work for Growth Partners. We are a sales consulting firm offering various solutions around improvement of sales performance. And yeah, if you are not learning, you're being left behind, and that is the most important aspect of it. And you're not only being left behind by what you are, by not keeping up with the rest of your competitors, but you're being left behind by not being able to offer value to your clients. So for us, it's very important, even as a consulting firm, to continuously learn. The world is changing very fast. There are new competitors coming in, and they're coming in with new solutions, new approaches to doing things, and uh, with different experiences. The customers also are changing. They're changing in terms of age profile. They're changing in terms of what they are looking for and what they are expecting. They're changing in terms of even the requirements and preferences of how they want things done for them. So if you are not aligning with that by learning and adapting to new ways of doing things, you will be left behind. So for us, it's learning. Learning is a core aspect of what has helped us remain in business for those many years. Yeah.
Thank you. Can you share a specific example where a learning initiative moved from insight to real impact and how you measured that impact?
Yeah, this is I would say this is a good question for us, and I usually say that if we are not offering value in terms of results for our clients, then we are not really doing a great job, because it's not just because we offer services. For example, if it's training and people are excited and happy about what we offer, it's by the results we offer. So there is a client that a financial services client that we have been working with for the last 2 years, and in those 2 years, every year they have had an annual plan, and great plan, great document with great numbers and all that. And they ask us to go through the plan and ask us to come up with a learning plan that will align with that sales plan for the year. And we pick out opportunities for learning. We pick out areas for new skills that are required, new approaches or different, or reinforcement that is required of existing skills. And we develop a plan, an annual learning plan that will run along with this annual plan. And then we work with them throughout the year in delivering learning programs and supporting them in executing those ones that need to be executed by their own internal managers. And in each of those 2 years that we have worked with them, the great thing is that they have had 3 times growth every year on their numbers, that is their revenues and their profits. And if we look at that, since when we started to now, that is like 9 times growth overall. And that has been very exciting for us, because it has had a massive impact into their results. And that is that is our favorite, but we have had various learning programs that have had real impact into the businesses.
Well, it made you happy. It must have made them delighted. My goodness.
Yeah, always happy that now when we make the financial proposition, they like the one that we are working on in this third year, they have not negotiated much. So that is good for us.
Marvelous.
Yes.
What do you see as the biggest barrier preventing organizations from fully embracing lifelong learning, and how do you think we can overcome it?
Um, One of the biggest challenge that I have seen, and I would call it a real big barrier for having a learning organization, is approaching learning as a fire extinguisher or a crisis management solution. Something goes wrong, you find someone says, "Oh, people need training. Get someone to train us on this." And training in that way, it's very reactive. Instead, it should be more proactive. And that is a big challenge. We need to, for us to do well, we need to approach training as proactive of where we want it to be taken, not as a reactive solution to challenges that we are facing. But the other aspect that I have seen, and it's people looking at training and learning as a cost, and always thinking it's very expensive. And if it's expensive, not trying to invest, including some learning approaches that they can adopt that are not costly, or they may not even cost them much in terms of finances, but they want to look at learning as a very expensive. So those two are big barriers to lifelong learning.
It's interesting how they don't think about the consequences of not providing the training, of not providing those skills.
Yeah, and they suffer a lot because learning is an investment, and it pays back many times up. If you are not doing it, definitely you are losing much. Probably by saying you are saving money by not investing in learning or training, you are losing out in a big way. True.
And you're going to end up paying for it in other ways.
Definitely. Non-performance, absenteeism, lack of motivation, repeat work, all that, yes.
In your view, what's one outdated belief about corporate learning that we need to let go of, and what should replace it?
This one, many of us who are in training may not want to hear this, but the obsession that learning only needs to happen in training rooms, whereby, I mean, training it has to be an event, a 2-day event, 1-day event set aside where an expert or a subject matter expert will come and deliver information and get people charged for 2 days and then letting them go. That one, and it's common that quite a lot of that information that is loaded on people will be lost within a few hours. So I think that is outdated. Whereby training has to be a lot of content within a very short time, and it's an event.
It really needs to move toward active application and
Yes,
reinforcement of that learning, so that people
yes.
not only develop those skills in our workshops, as you know, we
Mhm.
focus on learning the skill, applying the skill,
Yes.
in many different ways, so that
Mhm.
when people leave the workshop, they are confident in their own ability to use those skills. And then
Yeah.
we need to reinforce that. But as you've also said, it doesn't have to be an event.
Yes.
Training can happen in the flow of work.
Yep. Yeah, and I've seen the people who embrace training in a different way rather than it being an event, they get better results. And even the people who are being trained, they know it's an event I'm going to, and once I'm done, I go back to doing things the same way I've always done. That is not helpful.
Yes. And that reflects the fact that it's unlikely their managers were involved in the identification of the need for the training, what the outcome of that training will be, and what their role as a manager will be to reinforce that learning.
Yeah, and even for some managers, they're like, people go be trained, come, and now I want you to perform because you have been trained. They are not really engaged. They are not involved in ensuring that it's not just what happened during the event; it's application, the follow through, and the supporting coaching that is required to ensure that. They're getting results.
We're on the same page. Absolutely, Sam.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You are the first time we interacted, you really helped me to really embrace this.
How are you leveraging data, technology, or new learning methods to create more personalized and effective learning experiences?
Lovely. Technology is changing very fast. Sometimes you struggle even to keep in touch with what is new. But even as that is happening, one of the things that I would say is that data is helping us to accomplish that which as trainers we have always wanted, but it was always very difficult. Whereby you know that all the people, for example, when we are called to train a team, you know all the people are not at the same level. Uh, they all don't need that one fits all approach or content or activities to learn. Data is helping us now to be able to have to have an appreciation of individual needs, training needs, individual requirements in areas that they are struggling. For example, recently, I was working with a team in delivering a training, and rather than having or train this group of people, and then this other group of people, probably on basis of how available they are or which department they come from. Here we went through data and we looked at the various people, and we found there are people who are quite good at generating opportunities, but were struggling in handling those opportunities. You find them stuck at some place. So we found that that group of people required training on how to nurture opportunities. Then we had others who had a lot of those opportunities, but they were not really converting. And then we had a training program for that group. Then we had a group that looked like they were doing very well in terms of their numbers at the end, but their opportunities were very few, but they were converting them. And these ones needed to be trained on how to prospect and improve the quantity of opportunities within their pipeline. And we had a training specifically for them. So that was great in that we could break them into groups in that way. But even when we were recommending areas of coaching and support, we were providing very individualized recommendations, and that is purely based on data and adopting AI technology to help us analyze that data.
Oh, those are wonderful examples. Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
Mhm. Thank you.
If
Yeah.
you could give one piece of advice to leaders who want to build a true culture of continuous learning, what would it be?
Uh, yeah, for a leader, you need to model what learning is about. Uh, you have to take the leadership by modeling. You can't tell your team to learn and grow. Well, you are operating like you already know everything, and you don't want to it changed. You keep on referencing of where you have been in terms of experience and how you have done it over and over, but you are not learning and you are not changing. So modeling for a leader is very, very important, and people will always be uh, taking up the behaviors that the leader is modeling. If a leader, if you want to see a learning culture in an organization, their leader is one who is always learning. If you want to see one that is stuck in their way of doing things and not learning, uh, most likely the leader or the leaders will be acting the same way, will be behaving in the same way. So as a leader, you need to be curious, open. You need to ask questions. You need to to try new things. And if you do that, you'll see your people following. And you need to do it genuinely, not just pretending, but you need to do it genuinely.
Yes. Pretending doesn't work. You're right.
And people are not, even kids are able to pick it. So if kids can pick it when you are pretending, your people also will pick it, because you find there are some people who will say it by word, but that's not what they act. So they will say you need to learn, you need to improve, you need to change, but that's not what you're modeling. So even if you say it how much, they will not pick it.
When we think about a learning organization, and we're talking about the leader modeling learning, what should that organization include so that people can also be learning?
Uh, there are two things. I would say, well, number one, of course, is the leader need to be the one leading, but also the organization within the or the structures within the organization should be rewarding and recognizing learning, and that needs really to be adopted, because when we talk about culture, we are talking it's what is celebrated and what is recognized. So an organization needs really to recognize, reward, and celebrate those who are learning. And the more you do it, the more you'll see people within the organization uh, moving towards that. But the other thing is to have learning champions who in various roles. It shouldn't be just a learning and development department or a training department or a HR function that spearheads learning. They have their role and they have their place, but we need to have learning champions all across the organization.
One of the things that has come up and is a concern is that in order for people to learn, they need to try new things.
Yeah.
And unless there is psychological safety, they are not likely to try new things. So they're not likely to try new behaviors,
Mhm.
and that innovation dies. So as part of, what would you say to that?
Yeah, and well, I know you are in a different culture from our culture, and let me talk about our culture. The culture here tends to punish mistakes, and what they define as mistake is deviating from the normal, or doing something that doesn't deliver the results that you were expected or would be expected. and that is punished heavily. So you find in many organizations that is the same culture, the same societal culture that we have is what is there in the organization. So I would say that, for example, for people who we share in that culture, we need to be very aware that we need to not to punish mistakes. Uh, we need to encourage people actually to make mistakes. We need sometimes even to celebrate intentions that led to a mistake, and that way you would make people be open and courageous and feel safe to try new things. That is very important. I don't know whether in your culture it's like our culture, but in our culture, if you are in an organization or you are an organization leader, you need to take that into mind that we are seeking to encourage this, and to do that we have to make it people feel safe to fail or to make mistakes.
Well, we have a whole variety of organizations and management styles, but there certainly are, I hope, many organizations that are concerned about psychological safety. That's been in our cultural lexicon for a good decade now. And hopefully many organizations have adopted that as a means of how they manage. What's
Yeah,
one book, resource, or learning experience that has had a lasting impact on you personally?
Deb, when we first talked about this recording or this session, I told you you completely transformed how I approach training. I was when we met, I considered myself an expert. Well, I'm an expert, but that time I approached training from the point of I'm the expert. I'm here to tell you what you need to do because I know it and I have a strong appreciation of how it needs to be done, and this is how you are supposed to do it. That is how I approached training. After I met you, I I changed. I'm a learning facilitator. I'm not a trainer. So you shaped me in a big way on how to deliver training in a learning through active learning approaches. There's one lesson I learned from you, and I have applied it. Every time I want to say something as an expert during a training or a learning session, I turn it into a question, and that has been very powerful. So I would say meeting you ruined my traditional approach to training in a good way. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah. So Debbie, you had a big impact. Definitely thereafter, now from that, I started learning more about active learning, and one mind that has been a big another resource that have been a big impact to me is Thiaki, and most people who love active learning know him. So I've really consumed a lot of his materials.
This is Tiagi,
Yes,
Thiagi,
yes, yeah,
who has created many, many games
yes.
and is very generous in sharing them.
Yeah, he has a philosophy that I apply in our training, where he says, "Let the prisoners run the jail." And, yeah, and it's
Not
so
that we
fun.
want people to believe that participants in training are prisoners, but he's
Well, of course, yeah. Well, sometimes as trainers, traditional trainers, we treat participants as prisoners, and they have to do everything we are ordering them around to do. So we need to change that.
So is there anything that you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think one of the one point I would want to make at this point is that in the new world, particularly the world being driven by the artificial intelligence uh, technologies, is that any information, particularly learning, us who facilitate learning and us who are trainers, there's a lot of information. I don't think there's much more information that you can take to people that they don't have, and therefore, as a learning professional, you cannot approach your world as someone who is going to provide or to give information. That people have far much more information than they really need. So we need to think on how to turn the information that is available and that they have into actual practical skills, and not only skills, but help people put it into action. I would probably put it that our approach to training should not be informational. Uh, that information is already available, and people can get that information. We need to put it probably just to have it as a bumper sticker, as training should not be informational but transformational. And that transformation is whereby us as learning experts come in, how to turn that into transformational transformation in how people do things and how they approach life and how they work and how they accomplish the goals they have. Yeah. So
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
You're so right. I love that. Transformation, not information.
Yes.
Thank you, Sam. This has been fantastic. How can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can get in touch with me. You can visit our website, Growth Partners, www.growthpartners.co.ke. You can reach me on email, sam@growthpartners.co.ke. You can find me on LinkedIn as Sam Kariuk. And in the era of learning, I'm trying to do a few things on TikTok.
Oh,
I'm not yet doing very well, but I'm learning.
oh, I wish you great luck with that. That's
Thank
marvelous.
you. Yeah.
So thank you, Sam, and thank you, our listeners, for listening and participating in our conversation. I hope that you learned as much as I've learned in this session. Join us next week on June 2nd as we meet with Dr. Jeffrey McGee, the founder of jeffreymcgee.com, where he specializes in human capital development, leadership, and business strategy. And please remember that Laurel and Associates Limited is always focused on making lackluster leaders legendary, as smart learning fuels real business results. And as we've discussed today and in the past, it's a partnership between the trainers and the managers. And if those trainers and managers aren't effective, then it's going to be very difficult for your organization to see those real business results. So to help you, I do have an assessment where you can look at the effectiveness of your trainers and your managers. And if that's of interest to you, please reach out. So thank you again.
Thank you, Deborah.
You're welcome, Sam. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Learning Advantage from Insight to Impact. We'll look forward to seeing you again next week.
Every lesson, every workshop, every failed attempt you save becomes a map upon the desktop. Shows the